Hello, welcome back. Episode 31 of the podcast. Phil, how you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Yeah, nice drinky poos with work yesterday, so feeling fresh.
Nice team bonding session, complying with obviously the
coaching rules, yes.
Yeah. You nice Rugby though.
Yeah, lovely Tamatanga, big ratings.
I do like Tamatanga. We spoke about Tamatanga the other day, actually, me and some of the other lads, and they were telling me about a certain story that happened in Tamatanga involving a bottle and a former Paviors player. But I'll tell you that another day. That's not for this podcast in any sense of the term. There's not much really going on, is there, mate, to talk about at the minute?
No Six Nations this week. No update from the brilliant RFU. No knowledge about the Lions tour or any further. Boris Johnson mentioned it when he was discussing hosting the 2030 World Cup or whatever it is. So, yeah, not much to talk about for us this week.
No, I mean, we can discuss the actual update from the RFU, which was we're nearly ready to have a look at the roadmap, which
it's just not an update, is it?
That's like me going, I'm nearly ready to open my emails today. It's like, it's not really anything worth talking about. But when we can get out the club, we'll get out the club, won't we? We'll do some bits. There was an update about we're hoping to get the outside bar open soon at the club, get people back up, seeing each other, distancing and drinking. So socialising, which would be good.
Yeah, there'll definitely be some summer events up at the club. Whether that's touch or cricket or just going up for a picnic and drink, the club will push those things as and when we can.
Yeah, definitely. So we might as well move quite quickly on to this week's guest. Interesting in places.
Yeah, it's going to be an entertaining podcast, wasn't it? He is not a shy individual, and he is a hell of a character. So yeah, good podcast. Enjoyed making it. I doubt you've we weren't recording at the time of the incident with the child. But we did see Kim.
I wish I'd quickly managed to press record while she was there, because I mean, I've not had kids, but I've not seen anything quite like that, if I'm honest. Is that a regular occurrence when you get babies?
Not really. Well, I've maybe touched wood, I've been lucky. That was some significant volume for a 1-year-old.
I mean, by significant volume, it was like 2 pints worth, I think, by the looks of things. It was a lot of squeeze. It was horrible. I was quite concerned at first because Josh was like, "Oh, Phil, I've got to go."
Yeah,
and I was like,
Josh's urgency and worry was a bit concerning. And then as soon as I saw Kim, I was like, "Oh no, it's okay.
Oh no, it's fine." Well, we hope the one's fine. And that was his favourite child. But we'll get to that bit a bit later in the podcast. We'll get into it. It was amusing to edit, so I'm sure other people will enjoy it as well. Here we are with Josh. Josh, how you doing, mate?
Good, mate. Thank you. All good.
How's lockdown treating you?
To be honest, I've not really noticed it. I still go out to work, come home, dead busy when I get home. Honestly, it hasn't affected me that much.
Busy.
I almost forget we're in it
until you go and try and hug a stranger. Or when
I don't do too much of that anyway. To be honest, it's not hindered me on the daily. That hasn't.
No, but when you go and try and queue up outside a pub at 10:30, it opens for breakfast, and then you still. That did take some adapting too. Why is no one else here? When are they opening? So for those who don't know you, obviously you're playing at Pavs. You've got the stash on. What I've written down is you started playing at Pavs at an early age. Kind of an early age, and then you disappeared to Mansfield. Am I right?
Yeah, I had a brief holiday away from Pavs to Mansfield. It's probably about 3 years, I think, something like that. And then, probably 3 years away, maybe 4.
Bloody hell! Goes quick when everyone else is enjoying it. Obviously, you're a father. You're now a staple of the first team as well. So, and I've also got written down here, you could be described as a bit loose.
By some, I don't know if I'd agree or not.
No. Well, I would, but I mean,
I'll second it right now.
Well, that's been passed through court then. So, but what got you into rugby in the first place?
It was actually when I'd never played. Went to secondary school, and that was like the first time I'd ever played any rugby. And Paviors actually held a touch tournament in. Obviously, it had been like probably 2004 when the World Cup, when obviously England had won the World Cup, and they had the trophy up there in a touch tournament. And I went and had a go and thought, yeah, quite like this. I got a red card in touch, and then I started as I meant to go on, and that was it. It was actually Guru reffing, and he sent me off in my first ever touch game, and then I think it was a guy called Richard Ford actually. He was up there. He was the age group that I would have been in as coach, and said, "Oh, I don't quite think touch is his game, but you ought to bring him up for the proper rugby." and then never look back.
No, I think that's for anyone that's met you once could probably guess touch isn't your game.
Not quite.
So obviously, your first game of touch rugby was just after the World Cup. Did you have a rugby idol then? Or did the whole kind of occasion get you into it?
Honestly, I didn't know anything about it all. Probably the first game of rugby I ever watched was the World Cup final.
Do you know anything about rugby now?
Not much. Just like running into people and stuff like that.
This is going to be a top quality pod. So what age did you start proper rugby then? So how old would you have been?
Well, it had been year 7 at school. So I don't know what age. That'd be about 12.
12, 11, 12.
Yeah, 11, 12. Yeah. I think it was year 7. So yeah, like 11, 12.
Early enough.
Was that before or after the water polo escapades?
During.
I didn't know
maybe before actually. I think it was before.
So Josh, for those who don't know, Josh were you England or GB water polo age group?
GB.
GB is it?
Yeah.
A lot of people do it to play for the England team.
What got you into water polo? Because let's be honest, it can be quite rough at times. So I guess that
was the main attraction. Really, you've sort of hit the nail on the head there. No, it was. I was into swimming as a kid. Well, my sister was really into it, and I sort of followed in you sort of end up getting into it, and then. It was just dead boring. It's just a boring, lonely sport, isn't it? And then
it's fitness for sport.
Yeah, and then there was always a water polo on after our training, and obviously you'd sort of have a little crossover. I thought, God, that looks so much more fun than just swimming lanes. So I had a go and stuck with it, and turned out to be quite good at it.
I don't know much about water polo, but. Positionally, are there positions? Were you enforcer?
It's not really. It's just a bit. Yeah, anyone can play anywhere really. You sort of it's a bit like basketball, the sort of formation that you'd play. So obviously you'd have one sort of centre forward, and then everyone else sort of just fills in where the gaps are, and you sort of man mark, so you get dragged around to other positions as well.
It just sounds. I don't like getting dragged around anyway, let alone when I've had to wade my way through water. I run through treacle anyway. Imagine trying to get past anyone on that.
So even at age group level then, Josh, so water polo is kind of renowned for a jiggery pokery under the water.
Yeah.
At age group level, is that still the case?
Yeah, it was. I was... It was a bit bad, really.
Do I need to pause the recording for this answer?
No. I played seniors a lot. I was really young playing seniors. Like went up through the ranks quite quick. So I was playing seniors. So you sort of get taught a few of the dirty tricks, a few of the. Obviously, you learn as you go along. So then every now and again, because I wouldn't often train with the juniors, I'd just train with the seniors. But then when a tournament would come up, I'd jump back into the junior team. And then there'd be some poor innocent kids who's not played against men. I'd be there being a little bit rough and dirty, and it worked to my advantage.
Have you transferred any of that kind of fuddling under the water into the maul, or not?
Well, it's just a different kind of fuddling, isn't it?
Fuddling. I've never heard the word fuddling.
I think I meant to say fondling, but then we went with it, didn't we? A fuddle is something.
Just got to roll with it. Just got to roll with it, haven't we?
Just got to roll with it. So obviously that stopped. I'd like to divulge more into that, but I think knowing what you do under the water, I probably don't.
What you do?
Give me a few more gins and I'll come back to it. You saw me with Grant's hair last week. I don't know if I could contain myself. So you come back to Pav. You're playing at Pavs. Did you play Colts at Pavs?
Yeah, I played up all through age group into Colts, and I had a few years in seniors. I was playing. Phil was one of the coaches of the first team as well. Some of the years I was playing there, I had a good few years in the seniors before I left.
2 or 3 years, and then I think you decided. Well, we kind of suggested to you that you could probably play a bit higher. I think you kind of agreed, and so you went and joined Derby, was it? No,
I went. I left Pavs and went to Mansfield, and then obviously Mansfield went bad. Well, I enjoyed my time there, but the club just got worse and worse and worse, and that's when I tried to step up to Derby before eventually coming back to Pavs.
So before we go on to the Mansfield Derby days, who was in your Colts group at Pavs?
Oh, it was we had a really good Colts team actually. We had it was a strong Colts team. It was my age group was me, Joe Crossland, Joe Collingham, Dougie. Who else is? I'm just thinking the first team was Kieran. They were all in our age group, and then a fair few other lads who aren't really on. Nathan Jones. There was it was quite a strong team for our age group.
Quite a lot of decent players in that set that have stuck on and kept going then.
Yeah, we stuck like quite a few of us obviously came through together, and we're all still playing together. So yeah, it's been good.
Who was your Colts coach?
Pat.
Oh right, obviously.
Yeah,
I mean, it's fair play. I mean, not bad, is it?
No, he was coach. I think I had 1 season or 2 with the first coach Richard, and then Pat took over, and and then obviously he took us all the way through, and obviously still influences now.
What was he like as a Colts coach? Because we all know what he's like as a director of rugby. What's he like as a Colts coach? Does he kind of pamper you? Does he rip you to shit? What does he do?
No, it was when he talked, you listened, and he always obviously there was always a little bit of trouble and a bit of messing about, and it was always just take a bollock, and then he just everyone literally did just take a bollock. Nothing more was said. Everyone was engaged, listening, did as he told. Yeah, just straight away, right, take a bollock, and then that was it. Everyone was back on it.
Does he still do that with the ones now, or does he not get involved in that stuff?
Yeah, sometimes when I'm playing.
He's generated more like a Yoda figure now, isn't he? He's like,
it's only because he's old and small.
I recognise his voice on the sideline every now and again when it's getting a bit feisty, and I say, "Josh, stop it," or whatever, and I think, "Oh, yeah, feel like a little kid at Colts again."
Do you often hear that from someone? Josh, stop. Do you get that quite a lot when you play?
No, sometimes they're quite opposite. When Malk's on the sideline, normally you smack him, Josh.
Oh gosh, right.
And then Malk gets the bollock. Then Malk gets the bollocking off Pat instead of me.
Yeah. He did score a hat trick.
Let's not talk about that though.
So, before we talk about senior rugby, let's get on to the fun stuff. Rugby tours. Have you managed to get away on any rugby tours?
Were you on the magical Biarittz tour?
Yeah, Biarittz. What a weekend! That was a good tour. That was our Colts tour or under 16s, whatever it was. That was a really good trip. That had everything. That was like a good piss up, just a great set of lads, and we actually played some good rugby as well. Which obviously normally when you go on tour, rugby's just don't really happen, and it's sort of the worst bit of the tour. But we actually played some really good rugby in Biarittz as well.
Well, we've heard some stories from Dougie being in Biarittz at points. Have you got any stories from that tour?
I don't know what I started watching Dougie's podcast. I didn't make it all the way through.
It's quite boring.
I'm not sure what stories were told. I can remember like for some reason, obviously you can get away with buying booze when you're younger over there. And we're like, oh yeah, let's go and get some beers. And instead we bought a bottle of vodka and we're trying to drink it on the beach, but really we're just like sort of having a swag and throwing up. not really able to drink it. But no, that was fun. And then a lad called Josh Morris got his head shaved. That was quite funny. And then there was some, I don't know what exactly happened, but some flares went into a really posh hotel and there was a bit of drama around that.
That sounds, I don't really know what happened, Your Honour. So they ended up in a posh hotel? I'm not sure how they got there, mind.
Yeah, I don't know the ins and outs of that one, but no, it was a good tour. Yeah, it was. I could say one like really good memory about that is one of the nights. Obviously, it was sort of free wine with your dinner, and so obviously we were all like having a little bit of food and 3 bottles of wine each or whatever, or as much as we could physically get down us. And then we had a little campfire on the beach and all sort of stood around singing Oasis like at the end of the night, and that's a class memory I've got of that. That's a really good memory.
Love it. That is the good thing about going abroad when you're a little bit younger, innit? You get to I was going to say experiment. Let's not go back to that, but you get to try certain things out, didn't you? And just kind of paddle a bit, see what you can get away with.
But no, that was a good starting tour. That was I knew rugby was for me after that tour.
Where have you been since on tour?
I don't think I've been on a rugby tour since. I've been on a fair few sevens weekends actually. Yeah, we've done the sevens circuit, which obviously I think they could be described as loose. They've we've had some cracking sevens tournaments. We went to Bournemouth, Newquay sevens. To be fair, one of the best ones was actually Nottingham at Solstice. That was always obviously the level of rugby is not particularly great there, so it is just purely
loose.
It's just loose. Yeah, that's great. That I actually got burnt in my first proper court session there. I got absolutely taken to the cleaners. I got done big time.
It's funny how quickly you learn in a court session.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I can't remember the ins and outs of it, but obviously I got like fined for something. Like I had to do 2 fingers, and obviously I was giving it the big and like, yeah, give it here, a bottle of port. Obviously just took us like did 2 fingers out of it, and then they're like, right, that was right hand, so do another 2 fingers with your left hand. So did another 2 fingers with my left hand, and then went to pass it on. Obviously no EG, so straight back, and then because that was the third one, I had to finish the bottle. So by the time I'd done a full bottle of port. After obviously we've been on it all day, and I was young. I'm 18 max, and I can remember like necking this bottle of port, thinking I was invincible. And honestly, the last thing I can remember seeing is the writing on the bottom of the port bottle. Like as you're necking it, you can sort of see through the bottle. That's the last thing I can remember seeing. And I woke up in my car because obviously I'd not even managed to get my tent up. Woke up asleep, like reclined in my car, just covered in purple sick. Like the next morning, it was horrendous. And obviously they do quite a big night. They do like a disco tent and stuff down there. Like court was at like 4:00, and I didn't even see the night out. I just woke up the next morning, missed all the fun, car ruined, absolute nightmare. Felt horrendous. Never made that mistake in court session again.
Port is a nightmare. I used to pre-drink on port at uni before I'd found Frosty Jacks. It was like £8 from Aldi. I was like, this is gonna do. Did that. I remember it was a mate's birthday, and I made him the good old dirty pint, but just gone a little bit too far of it, and he refused to drink it. So I necked it for him after a bottle of port, and then felt like it was turning inside me. I had like mayonnaise curdling with the rum I drank and the port I drank. I walk into my bathroom and just projectile, and for about a year there was this red stain which went from the door all the way down to the toilet. Incredible accuracy, if I'm honest.
I think my worst mistake ever was probably in lower 6, and it was New Year's Eve, and one of my mates' parents were away, and he lived down basically on the Trent. So it was just like, yeah, everyone come to mine, we'll have a house party. all his neighbours for some reason weren't in either, so he was just like, yeah, we'll just stay here like all night. And there was like 80 people at this house party. And obviously, like mum and dad, to be fair to them, used to buy just the occasional bit of booze to go and to the parties with. And dad's probably like giving me some ale, probably knowing dad. And I've been like, oh, I don't really fancy this. So on the way down, I thought, no, I know what I'll have. Great party drink is a bottle of Baileys.
Oh my God.
So I'm walking around this party with a plastic full of Baileys.
So I remember turning up to party with, is it VK Schnapps? And I'm like, oh, I've had Schnapps before. It's like peachy, innit? I remember taking a glass, and that's fucking horrible. That. Going, oh, no, that's not the peach Schnapps I remember. Honourable. Anyway, back to rugby, considering we're a rugby podcast. So what was your time at Mansfield and Derby like?
I really enjoyed Mansfield, actually. It started off really well, actually. To be fair, it was a great aftermatch there. Yeah, it was a good set of lads, and but obviously the club, we just lost every year. We'd lose so many players, and we just dropped out. We just absolutely plummeted down the leagues to the point where it was just awful. So it started off really well, and it got slowly worse, and then quite quickly worse towards the end. It declined quite quickly. But I still in touch with a lot of the lads from there. Like, made some good mates, and I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah. So
I don't regret going there at all. It probably was. It turned out not to be the best move for the level of rugby I played, but I did still really enjoy it.
Mm. Isn't there a secret group? You probably not allowed to talk about it if it's secret group of you drinking lads from Mansfield, or is that something I've picked up and miscommunicated to me?
The first rule of the secret.
Don't talk about it. Fucking obvious, wasn't it? I knew that was going to be the response. Why don't I even ask the question? Mate.
That's it, mate.
Fair play. Does Tevez enforce that rule? So Derby. So you tried to step up with Derby. What was that like going there? Because it's a bit of a different setup again, isn't it, Derby?
Yeah, totally different setup. Again, I went. To be fair, I probably should have never gone there. I probably should have just come back to Pavs. But I got talked into it by Stenty, who was the Mansfield coach. And to be fair, he just wanted the best for me. Really, just wanted me to play at the best level. And also Roxy, the head coach, like his best mate. And to be fair, the pre-season, everything really good. To be fair, the standard of training there was brilliant. Like, they had everything was always laid out. They had loads of coaches. It was a really good training atmosphere. We used to play live games in training. I really enjoyed it, but it just wasn't for me. I was never, because I sort of got talked into going, I was never fully committed. And and it was also a ball ache, obviously, so I was driving there. I could never, even getting home after a Saturday, I'd be driving. So it was, obviously, you could never sort of buy into it really with the lads. Like the odd night, we sort of stayed over. And so I used to travel with Joe Simcox. We sort of arranged to be able to stay over and get a lift or a taxi back late or whatever. But it was just hard work. And then after work, it used to take me an hour to get there. And I was, to be honest, before I got there, I was almost halfway out the door. So I'd never really bought into it fully. But it was nothing to do with them. They were a good club, welcomed me well. We did a lot of good training and stuff, played a few games. But yeah, I just never really bought in 100%. So it was my fault, really. And then obviously I made the decision because I was still training with Ollie in the mornings, and obviously he was at Pavs. And yeah, it was inevitable, really, that I was gonna end up back here.
I don't think it's ever bad that anyone ever tries a club, if I'm honest.
No, I'm glad I did.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it just wasn't. I don't know. It just didn't. As I say, it never sort of felt right. But no, I'm still glad. Yeah. Glad I tried it.
I mean, that team you're in was good as well. That was when Derby probably at the peak.
It was a year they got promoted. They got promoted the season before, and then that was the first year in the league that we're in now.
Fifth or something in the first year.
I'm not sure. Yeah, actually, because it was a really strong team. Like, the team was unbelievable, to be fair. But then I think a lot of their players got scouted and left or whatever. So yeah, then they declined after that.
There's a bit of a trend, isn't there, really, when about retainment. Phil,
hopefully it doesn't happen to us.
Well, no, I don't think it will.
I think the age of our team will prevent that from happening.
No one's going to offer you bunch of.
We're not just
anyone. You might get scouted for the vet soon. But that might be Phil, have you ever had that where you've gone somewhere and kind of wish you hadn't, or is that not something that you ever really regretted?
Not really. I mean, I wish I'd never left Nottingham. I really enjoyed my 6 years at Nottingham. Being literally a local lad, one of the few local lads that played, and that was quite important to me. And the club was just amazing, and highly sought after by a lot of people due to its social stuff. And it was just a great club. And I got injured at the wrong time when a new coach comes in and you don't get to showcase yourself. And kind of fell by the wayside. And then went to Doncaster, and I really enjoyed Doncaster, but fell out with the coach in a way, and again picked up a pretty severe injury. And then 2 years coached in National 1 was just sort of an experience for me. And then I never really wished I hadn't gone somewhere. I just wish I could have stayed at Nottingham for longer, I think.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. Before we move on to your forever waited for package, I'm not sure how much. No,
heavy weighted package.
Heavy weighted package. We had a question come in from the public.
I've had so many messages this week saying I've sent a message in, but there's no way it's going to get asked on the podcast.
I can tell you what.
Its nature, I can imagine there's been a fair few.
I'm going to check the Facebook quickly, because I can tell you something. They're fucking lying, because I ain't had it. They've not had it. I'll ask the question here first, and I'll go and I'll have a look. This one comes in from someone that always sends question in, Arv Kendrick. I tried to decipher his hieroglyphics into what he was trying to ask, but he says, "Why did your dad have to buy you a new scrum cap in 2013?" There is a story then.
No. That was my dad. That was just my dad. He kept mistaking me for another player, because we had the same scrum cap, and I didn't want to be mistaken for this player.
Who was it?
I can't remember.
Right. That tells me you can remember. You're just winning.
No. It was. It's just a sore point. A lot of banter got fired my way about it.
I have a question. And I thought I'd stick it in this bit. I was scrolling through your Facebook, obviously to try and get some social media posts, and I came across a certain area of your life, which I'm somewhat confused by. How much lemon?
This could actually be anything.
It could be.
Yeah, I was going to say I've got no idea where this is going, but I don't think I'm going to like it.
How much lemon juice did you use in your hair to make it that blonde? And did it help you in any way, shape, or form become a better person?
No, it didn't. It didn't. No,
it was a look, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It was. I'm glad those days are behind me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you do look like an extra from a Peter Andre video in some of them. But what was the decision? Yeah.
I get so much grief about this, because they don't want to believe me that it happened naturally, and I don't even bother trying to argue anymore.
Naturally, there were some which were so fucking blonde, mate. At the time,
it was unbelievable. Honestly, I've never had a drop of hair dye in my hair at all. But I say, some of my mates always get at me for this, but I've never done it, never dyed it.
Okay, Sunday afternoon, after this has been out for a day, I'm going to put the picture up I found, and we're going to let people decide whether or not it was.
I know what the poll's going to say, but I know the truth. I know the truth.
Looks like you've got a bowl of bleach and just dipped your forehead in it for a second and just pulled it out again.
Baldy getting stuck into me about my hairstyles. Humpty Dumpty getting stuck into me about my fringe.
I got called a hairy butterbean the other day. I was fucking... from your frosty tips to Phil's package. Do you want to get your package out?
Yes, that's... I think you know the drill here, Josh. It's a quick fire answer round. We'd always start off with the same question and finish with the same question.
Right.
Okay. I know this isn't going to be your forte. Red or green?
Red.
Favourite beverage?
Stella.
Derby or Mansfield?
Mansfield.
Ollie C or Ollie H?
Oh, H all day.
Favourite rugby position?
6.
Best player you've played against?
I've got no idea off the top of my head. I don't know. I can't think of anyone that's jumping out at me. Yeah, no idea.
Always focused on your own.
Next question I toyed with for a long time, but I thought I might as well put it in. Who's your favourite son?
Oh, well, at the minute, Freddie.
That's an answer.
Jack.
That's an answer.
That's a fucking answer.
Never mind my favourite son. I've got a dog called Bruce, and he's a one.
Favourite opposition?
It was Newark. Yeah, or always was Newark. Obviously, it's nothing now at all. But yeah, always was Newark.
And finally, Jonty or Jim?
Oh, Jim all day. Well, that's such an insult to Jim getting put in the same category as Jonty.
I think that's fair. And do you know what I like most about that comment is I know you've had that prep since we've asked you to come on the podcast. That one line about Jim being in the same bracket as Jonty.
Yeah, well, it just jumps out at me. Honestly, it was unbelievable when I first realised that you put them in the same category.
I mean, I would argue it's unfair as well. But Phil writes the questions. I just
it's not unfair.
We'll ask some members of bar staff we've had at the club to see if it's unfair or not. And they'd say no. So let's take a break and we'll come back after I've done a little spiely bit in the middle. Hello everyone, Goat Eggy. Thank you for getting this far in this podcast. It's quite hard listening to Joshua, I understand that, so well done for sticking it this far out. So just want to remind you, you can still catch up on some of our old episodes. We've obviously got them on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, YouTube if you would like to see more of our lovely faces. So get on that. It's also worth knowing we're still looking for some sponsorship. Whether you want to sponsor the whole pod, an episode, an element of the pod, just let us know, get in contact with us, pass the pod around so people get to hear. And yeah, it'll be great to get in touch. Just a bit of the kind of a notice. We are going to be looking into doing some big live shows very soon, so keep an eye out for that. As soon as we're allowed back to sit in a pub together with 6 or more around a table, we'll get them going. So keep an eye out for that. Make sure you're prepping some ideas of who you want on your table for that as well. All right, back to the show. Phil, would you like to take worst rugby or best rugby moment this week?
I'll take best rugby moment. So, Josh, what is your best rugby moment?
This has been unpopular, actually. It was actually playing for Mansfield, beating Pavs at Newark's ground.
I was at the cup.
Yeah, I think it was on a Sunday as well for some reason. I seem to remember it being on. It might not have been, but I didn't know it was a Sunday. But yeah, that was a good day. I've been out injured for months as well, and just managed to get back fit for the game. And yeah, I enjoyed that. Yeah, that was quite a sweet day. Yeah.
I was going to ask earlier if you'd played against Paz, and I just assumed it was a given. So talk through the emotions of winning that game then, because obviously you got a lot of mates at Pavs, got a lot of mates at Field. What was going through your mind at the time?
I don't know. I can't remember it well enough to describe it, but it was good. Yeah, it was. I think it was quite recently. It must have been either the first or second season I'd left, because otherwise we just wouldn't have beat Pavs. And yeah, so I was still quite close with a lot of the lads, and obviously we got a bus back to Mansfield and had a big do in the clubhouse, and yeah, sending like a few texts fishing for bites that night. To be fair, I can remember that I was on. Obviously, I've been out injured for months, and I came on, and to be fair, Gaz Brees was playing 7, and he obviously was doing what Gaz does. He was an absolute pain in the arse, and he gave away a penalty, and I rubbed him on the head, and I got a bite. So many Pavs players went for me, and I was like, right, this is it. I'm going to enjoy this game.
Who was the first one to nibble after the game to a message? Did anyone buy?
Stevie straight away.
What did you send him?
I think it was just a picture of me grinning with the trophy. There might have been a few of us, but it was definitely like a picture of the trophy. And I can't remember the exact details, but I can remember definitely getting a nibble off Stevie.
It's probably not broadcastable what he replied. Okay, so that was your best. What's your worst rugby moment?
I don't know. I can only really sort of good memories come to mind. Even when I was playing at Mansfield and it was crap, it was still it was never terrible. Yeah, I can't really think of a particularly bad one. Obviously, when you get injured and it's bad, you're dark days there when you're looking at missing work and stuff. Obviously, you think, God, is this really worth it? But yeah, apart from that, I can remember it was before I'd left Pavs. We made it to the playoffs and played Bourneville, and I know we lost that playoff, but to be fair, quite luckily, I got knocked out and can't remember any of it. So I imagine that was quite a dark day, but I've got no idea.
That's not something we really talk about when it comes to injuries, is it? Is the fact that your life can potentially be just put on pause.
Yeah. Because
obviously, Phil, you've had injuries and stuff and whatever, and your life just goes shut down for a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it depends on what you do, doesn't it? I mean, Josh is obviously an electrician and needs to be mobile and able to use his hands and shoulders and that every day. When I snapped my Achilles at training a few years ago, I'm lucky enough that I work in a job where I sit on my ass all day. So I think I spent one day at home going back and forth to A&E to get a boot, and then got on the training to work. So it depends on what you do. Personally, that's not going to stop me playing. That's the last thing. It'll definitely be the wife before work that stops me playing. So
yeah, to be fair, the only injuries I've had when I've had to miss work, I was quite young and living at home, so nothing. Obviously, it doesn't actually matter. But yeah, I've been quite lucky since then. Touch wood.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, unless you get something absolutely horrific, you kind of are used to just work every game you've always got a niggle. Yeah, you've always got a shoulder or a dodgy knee, and you just work with it.
Back on, don't you? You've got no choice, have you? So you just have to carry on.
I tell you what, if I said to Ruth, "Oh, I'm not going to go to work today because I've got a really sore shoulder," it's not going down well. It's
you'd have a sore ear after, wouldn't you?
I remember calling it missing a day of work once because we played on a Saturday and I got quite a nasty knock to the head and called in and I was like, I'm feeling really dodgy. I think I've got a bit of concussion. I don't think it's wise for me to come and sit in front of the computer. And they went, well, you need to work out whether rugby or work is more important to you. And I was like, it's not really a hard question, is it?
2 in 10.
Here's my notice. So just before we let you go, we've asked about which of your sprogs is your favourite. There was a little bit of a something in the break.
Commotion.
a bit of a commotion. The better off was covered in juice. But what's it like having 2 young kids in the pandemic?
Well, it's all I've known. Their whole life has been in the pandemic. So it's all I know. To be fair, again, it's Kim that struggles. Well, not struggles, but she's been affected by it the most because I just in the day I just get up in the morning, go to work, and then just obviously we have our family time in the evening. It's Kim that struggled because of obviously there's no groups on or anything. Like they've not really been able to mix with other kids, and obviously that means Kim's stuck at home with them all day, so she's not getting any adult company where she would with these groups and stuff. So it's not really affected me, but I know it's made it a lot tougher for Kim.
Yeah.
But hopefully these days will soon be behind us. But yeah, it's all we've known since having him. I think we had a few weeks before we got locked down, but they were just too small to do anything anyway. And then we were locked down. Yeah. I mean, you told us before we started recording, you got a bit of a Meals on Wheels service cracking off. Yeah.
What's this about? Where can I sign up?
Oh no, it's exclusive.
Oh, wrong.
So, when we first had the boys, Kim's mum and dad, well mainly her dad, so we'll cook for you a little bit because you obviously not got time, and like we're clinging on to that so tight to keep keep the meals coming.
What's the menu? So you had a curry tonight.
Yep. To be honest, a lot of it I've not even heard of. Like, he loves his cooking. Like, really good.
It's going to be like just Italian. Or
I was going to say, this is a lasagna, Josh.
Something French. Spaghetti bolognese. No, he cooks all sorts of stuff, but it all always tastes good. So I'm happy with that.
Not bad. Can you?
I just eat what's in front of me.
Well, yeah, I don't doubt that at all, mate. I mean, I've never asked. I guess this. Are you a good cook?
I can be. I don't do
I
it
do
often.
not believe 1 second of that.
No, honestly,
Josh has got a barbecue in him, and that's it.
Yeah, great on the barbecue. No, I do enjoy it. I do a little bit of cooking. I enjoy it, but I just don't get time. The odd Saturday night, I'll cook something nice for Kim, but it is the odd Saturday night.
And you're not drunk.
Yeah.
So, thanks for coming on. Hopefully, we'll be back training. Phil asked you earlier, but you're excited for training? Yeah.
Looking forward to getting out of the house. Looking forward to talking to people, meeting people in the flesh.
I mean, why not?
Hugging strangers like you've obviously your cup of tea.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with the odd hug of a stranger. Well, that's not what the court's told me. So we'll let you go. Thanks for coming on, bud. It's been good to chat to you. Good to
it's been a good laugh. It's been a good evening.
And we'll hope to see you soon.
Yeah, nice one, boys. Cheers.
So that was Josh Hall. Yeah, there was a lot of laughs in that one, to be fair. I did really enjoy recording that.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, for me and you, it was actually quite a short and snappy one. We got through it quite quickly. Josh is our first guest to, as we close the podcast, actually leave the call as well. Oh, mate,
I'd forgotten he'd done that. So for those who don't know, we normally say bye and then have like one drink with our guest afterwards just to kind of like say thank you and stuff. But Josh I saw him when we were trying to stop recording, didn't he? He leant in and I was just like, oh, shit, he's off. But does it shock you Josh was the first person to do that?
No, when you say goodbye, he's taking it very, what's the word?
Literally.
Literally. And just yeah, bye.
Yeah. I mean, Barton didn't do it.
No,
but
he's got nothing else to do, has he? So he was willing.
It was 1975 just playing on repeat in the background. I do need to dig out that picture I found. I might put it on the socials to release this week's episode of his supposedly not dyed hair, because if it's not dyed, I don't know what happened to the poor kid. Maybe it was at the Chernobyl disaster. I don't know.
Frosty Tips.
Yeah, Frosty Tips. And might also be the name of the podcast. We're not sure yet. Next week, Phil, we've got your mate coming in, haven't we?
Yeah, we've got Ben Hunter, who is still playing at Doncaster. He's played hooker there since I was there in 2013. He is a very good laugh, and I'm sure we'll recount plenty of stories from my time, his time, and his stag do, which were all quite entertaining. But he's a fantastic lad. He's a brilliant player. He was nominated as the championships in the Championship 15 a couple of years ago, and yeah, it'd be good to get him on because he's moved on and he's playing rugby part-time alongside a few other jobs, all of which are quite entertaining.
I feel like it's going to be one of them I might just have to bring a whiskey to and just be quiet a little bit and just let the two friends catch up. It'll be quite a nice thing to witness, but like you said, I'm sure it's going to be a cracking episode as well. I don't think there's even any post notes this week. Just keep an eye out.
Yeah, I mean, it's quiet, isn't it? We're in a very frustrating part, I think, at the moment. I know everyone in my house is desperate to get out.
Because they live with you still.
Well, that's true, yeah. But it's we're in a bit of a quiet spot. By the end of this month, hopefully we'll be able to start doing bits and bobs and getting back to the normal.
It is weird, this bit, because I think before, when we didn't know when we were going to be out, it was kind of like, I'll just keep going there. But now they've dangled the carrot, I'm very much going to try and eat the carrot, and that's all I want to do now. Like,
yeah, it's hard, isn't it? When you know something's coming, you're just like, well, why can't we just get on with it now? Yeah,
what's the difference? What's 3 weeks going to make a difference in? And actually, if you look over the last year, fucking lot can change in 3 weeks. But yeah, so hopefully, and that also means it's the road to first live episodes and recording together, which is a whole new thing that we've never done before. After nearly a year,
we're gonna have to get organised, aren't we?
Mate, we're gonna have to stop at 5:30 on a Tuesday, going, who can we get to record tomorrow? Oh shit! I'll message them and see if they're free. Cool. All right, then, mate. Have you got any wise words?
No.
All right. Then. Bye.
Bye.